Scene 4. This is Crit Academy. We
Hey.
are doing an episode based on your main. Hi!
What if the party had character sheet? Well, thanks to TikToker Scene 4, we know the answer. Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Ian.
And I'm your co-host, Brandon.
We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you to your on your next adventure. Our show goes live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, so make sure to hit that subscribe, that follow, that share, hit the ring the bell to get notified when we go live, so you can join us and give your thoughts and share your thoughts with us on and the rest of the community. So let's get into it.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, we're also streaming to TikTok and Brandon's trying to tag the TikToker. The party as a whole isn't much different from a character, right? So why not give the character sheet to your party in addition to the individual characters? Just imagine it for a moment. At the start of the campaign or in session 0, the players decide what type of adventuring party they want to be. And once they know the type of party they want to be, this can help them decide on the types of adventures that they want to go on, the missions, the quests, all that jazz. This not only helps the players decide what type of game that they want to run, but also helps the dungeon master in deciding what sorts of encounters and story hooks to build to leash those or hook those players into the adventure.
Real men. Yep, and deciding what kind of party that they want to be really helps with the groundwork for character motivations as well as building the character bonds. Like, are they a religious order who hunts down evil magic users? How about a thieving crew who loves to steal fine art? Do they hope to be a group of monster hunters who seek out new challenges? And whatever they decide, it helps set the tone and goals for the characters as well as the party. And it kind of helps bring a unified motivation.
Yes,
So why do we want a character sheet for the party?
I know.
I know you know. Well, because the party as a whole can progress beyond just character levels. Instead, we are essentially giving the adventuring party rewards, goals, reputation, and of course, progression in a field specific to their unified goals. In the RPG, Blades in the Dark.
Which I have fallen in love with, so damn it, that's another
Is that a Xbox?
RPG game. No, it's a tabletop RPG. That Scene 4 makes me not want to play.
I didn't know that. I need to look at it now.
Yeah.
This is held by a crew sheet. During character creation, the players create a criminal organization or faction they want to be a part of.
Now, this is really cool, and we're going to delve more into this in a moment, but the process basically develops allies, enemies, territories, and if you're willing, you could even toss in special abilities, which I think is really, really cool and fits in with some of the mechanics that 5e, excels at. And what's interesting is it's not dissimilar to a background feature for the players, right?
Yeah.
Except it is effective for the entire party, which I just think is really, really cool. And they share those benefits. So it's like everyone having the criminal background and gaining the criminal contact, for instance, and still having their other background features. So the great thing about this is that beyond what has already, been stated, is that over time, each of these, features may grow, continue to grow and become more influential or more effective. That means more renown or more infamy, right? So as this kind of happens, new organizations become aware and their factions try to influence or ally or even destroy the parties, right?
That is such a dumb thought. If your entire party has the criminal background, they all have an insider person, right?
A criminal contact.
But what if that criminal contact happens to be like a different person for each character, but all the criminal contacts have to be like a different party?
Ooh, that could be interesting.
Like you're running it with someone else.
Dude, I love that. If something like that, you could easily get mixed information. Like these three say this has happened, these two say this is happening, and this. So who's right? That's interesting.
What's really great about party sheets for your party is that it treats your party as sort of a main character in the story as well.
That's cool.
We see this in a lot of popular mediums. Since we are talking about Dungeons and Dragons, we would be remiss if we didn't share the example of Vox Machina. People in the Tal'Dorei react to the band of mercenaries of Vox Machina with a variety of feelings. Not least of which is Vox Machine.
No, Vox Machina. What a fucking joke.
Although it could just mean the reputation's that bad.
They're making fun of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, what a fucking joke. Now this feeling is completely independent of a feeling for each individual character, but is for the group as a whole.
So now, before we get into the
Vox
next
Machina.
kind of note we have here, I want to open the floor to discussion. I think Alicia, I think we have an image of the crew sheet from the. Brandon's mic is fading in and out. Talking to the mic.
Yeah, actually, like one group example we have among us is like when you were in Storm King's Thunder, and we had the Azure Crows.
Mm-hmm.
That one time where we rescued dwarves from fire giants, but on our way to escape, Joram got stuck in a cave-in, and so there's some dwarves, and Malachite was like, "I will save you guys!" And he's like a huge spell to break through the cave-in,
Mm-hmm.
and hit a gunpowder storage in the process,
Yes. I love
killing
it.
some of the dwarves who were buried, but rescued Joram. It's like, in the dwarves who survived were mad. I mean, they knew intellectually it was not on purpose, but at the same time, it's like, you killed some of our brethren.
Yes.
And we're like, they don't hate us, but there's still some resentment. We should probably go.
Let's get out of here. So in this this crew sheet here, there's a lot of different things that I think that we can use as is, and some things that'll need to be changed. If Alicia, if you'll pop that back up there for us real quick. In this, you can see that, I don't know, can I zoom in here? No.
Other way.
I got it.
Yep.
So here we can see a variety of different mechanics. The name, the reputation, which obviously every adventuring party needs a name, right? I mean, to me, that's super important because that's something that the NPCs can refer to you as. And once again, once you have a name and you become known by that, your reputation kind of just being part of that group influences how people are going to behave, right? You can be the most holiest of clerics in a group of a-holes, and if that group is known as an a-hole, no matter how good you are, you're going to be treated like that. And so I think the Blades of the Dark's crew sheet really does that pretty well. So of what's on here,
That's such bullshit.
what?
The fact that Azure Crows become Azure Crows till the end of the campaign.
Yes.
I thought it was before that. Because I mean, I know, like, in the Avernus, at least, halfway through, we then became the Crimson Exiles.
Yeah.
Is that Avernus was after he did Storm King's Thunder.
Yeah.
And that's when we became Azure Crows.
Yeah.
And I wasn't around.
So focus.
Oh yeah, there's a show.
So here, yeah, right. So here, we're looking at the Blades of Dark, and there's a lot of different things here that I think are interesting. You can see that in the top section here, just under, you have a layer in the top left. You also have kind of like rep badges, reputation, and a way to track it. But what's really cool is they have what's known as turf. Now, for me, I would treat this more like territories, right? So if our group is, you know, give me an adventurer group. What's a theme that you would pick besides criminal? Because we talked about that already.
Adventuring Guild.
Adventuring Guild. What do you got? Anything?
Group of clerics. The Voice.
Okay, so
Above and beyond.
okay? So these are good ones. So you got an adventuring group whose sole goal is to spread the word of their holy deity. So let's pick Torm, right? Torm's or is it Helm? Which one's the war one?
Torm sounds good.
Okay, whatever. So your goal is to take on adventures, but you're also spreading the word. So your reputation would hopefully follow that, right? Like I remember Brandon saying something about grabbing somebody and dousing, drown, or sticking them into water and say, "You're blessed, bitch." You remember that? I don't know if you did that or you talked about it, but missionary, spreading the good word, absolutely. And so this kind of gives us a good outline for that. But it also has cohorts, which would be like connections, right? People that you're connected to, allies. Enemies, and it has a little scale for it, which I think is really, really nice. What do you guys kind of think about the list having a list of cohorts and allies to track?
That's definitely a good idea, and I've seen stuff like that used in other games. Granted, for individual characters, but for a group, that still makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and that's really cool too, because let's say you can expand upon existing backgrounds, right?
Mhm.
So let's say you have the sage background, right, which lets you know where some piece of information might be if you don't know the answer, right? So maybe you go to a library to recover some lost arcane knowledge,
Mhm.
and with that, you say, okay, now you have to create an NPC for this area. What?
Nothing.
You have to create an NPC for this area, and that becomes like an actual contact that the players can add to their party sheet or their crew sheet as a reminder that, hey, we know this guy, we have good rep with him, maybe he's got an answer for us. Shadow Wolf Nara says, so this is interesting kind of idea, like how Fable, great game by the way if you haven't played it, agree, and where they more good they do, their seen is better in the eyes of the world and vice versa. And I think that's one of the benefits of having a sheet like this, because it tracks consequences.
Oh,
And then
I didn't think about that.
and then there's Saitama from One Punch Man, where every time he does something good, everybody somehow sees it in a way that's bad.
Doesn't he like blow up a meteor and then it destroys everything as little barrages,
Yeah.
but doesn't destroy the planet? So
Yeah, the meteors wouldn't like wreck out the entire country, but because he like hit it and it became smaller chunks and destroyed parts of the city, and everyone's reaction was, "That's the guy that wrecked their houses!"
instead of the guy that saved the planet. Yeah. And so this is a really good tool for that. Having a party sheet allows the party as a whole to become known. And you mentioned, or I mentioned the consequences, and you thought that was a good idea.
And then there's King, who does absolutely nothing, but somehow gets all the credit.
Takes all the credit, yeah.
Not on purpose, to be fair.
When I saw that, when I first saw that, I couldn't believe it. So consequences is something that I hear a lot of complaints that my players do this, my players do that, their characters are murder hobos, blah blah blah. With a party sheet, there is a visual reminder of events that they've done, almost like milestones you can document, and that'll affect their reputation as a constant reminder of the crap they're good they're doing, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, B?
You ever heard the phrase "one crew, one screw"?
No, but that sounds hilarious.
If one person messes up, you all mess up.
Yeah,
Yep.
team failure, right?
Yeah, that's what this shit's making me think of.
And it's more just than that too, right? So not only are you building contacts, but you can use it to detail your headquarters, right? Your lair is what they call it in Blades in the Dark, right? So you can have these details of all the little things you're getting in your lair are as a party is now recorded somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So what are some stuff you would think would add? Oh, so there is a section for special abilities. This goes back to, as the DM, if you wanted to include special abilities for their goals and those achievements that they have, you could, right? Personally, I would treat them more like backgrounds where they're role play only benefits,
Sure.
no combat benefits, but
Yeah.
nothing is stopping you from going that route, right?
Nope. Not at
Yeah.
all.
So what do you guys think? Would you want to add more combat oriented features to a crew or party sheet, or do you think you should keep it in the more ambiguous role playing mechanics?
I'll keep it in the role playing mechanics just because, like, for the combat ones, to me, it doesn't necessarily make sense per se.
Yep.
If you will. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm just saying role playing aspects or connections just seems to be more applicable.
But what you could do, if you wanted to go that, maybe you have a really great relation with a specific reputation with a specific group. So maybe you got a cohorts. Let's go back to the clerics, spreading the good word of Helm or whatever. And maybe they get an NPC who's a follower of Helm, and maybe when there's so many together, they get a blessing or something occasionally. That would stay at least within the theme, but I definitely think like a party buff. But I do think that it works best as an RPG or a role play mechanic. So Dulcinea says, like calling in the cavalry, or if someone really screws over the team, they can sick their crew on the bad guy. I like that. And that really goes into the next thing is a party sheet or crew sheet can actually extend beyond the current party.
Yep.
And so what I mean by that is how many people love to play multiple characters? So what if you had a party sheet or a crew sheet that had other characters that you could jump in and out of
troop style
as part of your entourage, right? Or your cohorts.
Oh, we're doing this kind of the mission. This character would be a better fit for that than this one.
Yes, exactly that.
Or like you and another character have a curse, an ongoing curse where every full moon you guys switch places with the different parties.
Jesus. But that's something that could be tied into it, and that would be a really good special ability, I think. Even once you get enough reputation, people start joining, and it's just your players' other characters,
Yep.
and you swap them in and out. So with that, is there anything you think really should be added this that would take it to the next level besides the, the lair and the cohorts and the training and stuff like that? Ooh, that's an interesting. We didn't touch on that.
Does it
Andrew
talk about
says,
crew levels?
not directly, but we will get to that. Andrew says, for battle mechanics, you can keep track of when the team earns a special weapon, like a cannon or siege weapon, or gains the ability to call certain factions to fight with them. I do like that. That would tie in well with the cohorts, right?
Yep.
And the more people you build up, the more contacts you have to, we gotta attack we gotta siege a castle. Well, you know what? Balfour has a group of guys that are actually experts in siege engines. So we did him a favor. Maybe he can do one for us. I like that.
Oh,
So.
I keep coming back to the special abilities area,
Okay.
and that is that because it's a whole team effort.
Mhm.
It makes you think of like from shows and anime, like how Power Rangers, when they're all together and they combine their powers, they get a massive Zoid. that
With
fights
your
the-
powers
that fights
combined.
the
Oh,
big
that's
guy.
something different.
You get a
Zord.
you get a Captain Planet.
Yes, we're the Planeteers.
Yeah,
You can be one too, because saving the planet is the thing to do. Sorry.
Or
I love that show growing up.
or like if you want to tap into Gears of War, because let's say like you get on a certain religious faction and you gain a one-time use of the Hammer of Thor, if you will,
I like that.
which was a orbital death beam satellite in Gears of War.
Time to die. So this begs the next question. I didn't think of anything I'd like to add to it. Did you guys have anything?
my only thought was levels.
Okay,
You
and
said
so
there's
that's
more
the
to
next
that.
thing we're gonna talk about. But you know what I think would be cool is if you get a lair, a special reward being lair actions. So if you can fight an enemy in your own like crew headquarters or something, not that would happen very often, but would certainly be interesting.
Although if your own headquarters is being attacked, that's when you know stuff is screwed up.
Getting serious, yeah, it's some serious stuff.
It's like when the Green Ranger suddenly appears inside the Megazord.
And it kicks everyone's ass while they're sitting down on their cans. I like that. So you mentioned leveling up. So, Ian, how does one level up? A faction or a party faction or party sheet, whatever you want to call it.
Access to resources and or reputation.
Yeah, it's easy, right?
Yep.
Whatever the goal of the party is, right? Which goes back to we chose, adventurers spreading the word of Helm. Every time we successfully convert an entire village or something, that's a milestone.
Yep.
And you would treat it just like a milestone leveling system, I would think, right?
Yep.
So instead of just the character, and I think this delves into a very interesting question. When you're building your characters, so instead of saying player developing a character saying, who am I? The players develop a response to who are we? What do we want to do? And I think that's a really nice layer to add that's rooted in a simple more than we want loot, which is pretty common in the way it works, right? Or we have to save the city turns into I want to save the city to we have to save the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it does turn on its head. It does turn its head and allows you to explore it in a little finer detail.
Come on, guys, we got something to say. Why? Well, for one thing, that's where we keep our stuff.
And so the thing that I really like about this idea, because you could even add progression based on what the party wants as a whole, because not every single person will have the same goals when they're characters, right?
Nope.
But with something like a crew sheet or a party sheet, everyone decides this is what we all universally agree that we need to do. And as a DM, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that would make it easier for you to build adventures?
It could be, yeah. And I could easily see a player or players keeping track of a ledger, if you will, of their crew instead of just simply a sheet.
Ooh, I like that.
Like such as like favors owed, favors we can tap into, who we're affiliated with, why, who hates us, who likes us, the party loot sheet. Yes, party loot, not individual loot.
Yes, that is another benefit of the party sheet, right?
Mhm.
Because little baubles and stuff you're expected to kind of just hold on to, but a party sheet can track what the party owns as a whole, whether it's a business, whether it's a small hoard, maybe it's special like trophies or something. I don't know. What are some other examples?
Well, I was thinking more in the sense of like party loot. Like I've been in multiple groups where we just every time we found loot, we just all pull together into one spot, and we just ask like, "Hey, can we withdraw these funds so I can buy this?" Which would though it benefits me, this is how it benefits the entire group.
Ooh, so that comes back to
Yep.
how does it help us, not does it how to help me.
Like for
That's
example, like my
interesting.
fighter in my Saturday game, I ended up getting group permission to buy plate armor, which everyone was down with because I'm the group tank who aggroes the most. So like, hey, if that means you can stand up longer and we're not getting hit, we're okay with that.
And that's a really good example too. So we talked about having like lairs and crew areas where they can hide. That also means a lot of wealth will be there, so that also draws threats, right?
Oh
uh
yes,
Shadow Wolf says, I'd also give the DM I lost it.
that was still Cynia.
What did it say?
It was still Cynia.
Yeah, Shadow Wolf says, I'd also give the DM more ideas of encounters to attack a town that the party's lair will be in. Yes. Because adventurers are wealthy. Why risk your life breaking into a dragon's hoard when you can break into an empty adventurer's home?
I'm now picturing
Good point.
a enemy army sieging and sacking a town, only for the party suddenly flies out of an outhouse.
I just got a good thought from that too.
What's that?
Is having the character or the party sheet is it gives the primary goal of everyone that you were
Mhm.
talking about.
Yeah.
I think that can be a permanent hook solution for a DM throughout the campaign, saying that this is your guys' ultimate goal. I can still like interweave your guys' little backgrounds in between, but this is what you guys want, so this is what you guys are gonna work towards.
Yeah, I think that's really good, and that's kind of the benefit of the party sheets, because it's each in Melkara says in the chat that adventurers make enemies,
Yeah.
It's true.
and while that's 100% true, doesn't have to be just an individual's actions that make those enemies. Once again, getting back to the comparison of Vox Machina, that you know you have some really good people in Vox Machina, but
And so not so good.
and some people that are just douches. But it doesn't matter. That connection of that party being together automatically puts the NPCs in a situation where they assume how that person behaves, right?
Mhm. Expectations for sure.
There's one other thing I want to talk about when it comes to party sheets that I think is something that can be beneficial, is not just getting other NPC or getting other characters or your other own characters part of this crew or this party sheet, but also NPCs that look up to the heroes. Like, maybe the party rescues a blacksmith and he goes to their lair and gets added to their crew sheet or their party sheet and becomes one of the supports for the party while they're there. And so every time they go, they meet with the same NPC that repairs their armors, and you get a sort of role play there that delves into the connection between, I need you to fix my stuff, which is usually what you get when you're just going between towns, versus, you broke the shit again. What is wrong with you? How many times do I have to fix it? I'm getting sick of it. I'll be honest. That's a
Maybe we have to have it fixed if you got rid the first time, you dick.
so that's one of the benefits I think can come out of a crew sheet quite well. But also, Shadow Wolf, this is a good. It says, idea. We all know PC deaths happen from time to time. They could use the party sheet like an adventure spot open board. And a place to keep track of how many deaths there have been. That weaves into the new characters a player may roll up, like they had a career talker that was studying under career stalker, maybe that was studying under one. That's another really great example. I want to pull it back to the NPCs though, because that gives us an opportunity for services, right? What?
Mhm.
Nothing.
Services. So what are some examples of some services that could be part of the party sheet when they're in their lair or they've got these people that can work for them?
Specialized alchemists.
Somebody that makes potions.
Or something that makes magic items. on
Ooh,
commission.
that's really good too. And I think that's a good point too, because this can be a powerful way to offset what the party doesn't have.
Yeah.
So let's say you have an entire group that doesn't have an arcane caster. Hiring someone onto your party sheet, it will be a constant reminder that, hey, if I go here, I got this person we've hired that will take care of in identifying weapons or imbuing them with magical essences.
Or a priest who can raise the dead.
Ooh, that's good.
Again, this is the third time this week.
He's like, you're gonna have. So, is there a resource for that?
Yeah, diamonds.
So yeah. So,
Mm.
sorry, Bill. I spent the last diamond on the last time you died. You're out of trouble till you get me more. What does Malker say there, Brandon?
Melkar. Also, each player may be tied to a different organizations and do work for those organizations, which then makes the other organizations become their enemy.
Ooh,
That was actually
That's a good one.
What game is GTA's like that?
yeah.
You are now my sworn enemy. Yeah,
Like
yeah, we already have
Sailor
3 of
Moon.
those.
Dulcinea, Dulcinea
Mhm.
gave us a good list. An enchanter, an alchemist, or a doctor would be good. Oh, or a dungeonologist, somebody that helps with lordoms and navigating traps.
Or-
That's cool.
Deceased.
Or a chef.
Receased.
What?
Or a chef.
Ooh, a chef. Yeah. Lurik would like to have Lurik. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually thought about having an NPC that's a lore dump for the world, somebody who's constantly researching.
Bring me monsters you kill. You slay it, I play it.
Oh, jeez. I like the idea of a stable hand that Shadow Wolf's giving, druid, clerics, all those different things that can be powerful tools to the players in their D&D game or their adventuring. And it almost, and it doesn't have to be just, their own personal thing. Some of it might be tied to something they want to do. I'm a thief, I'm a rogue, I want to own my own thieves guild.
Mhm.
You could use a party sheet for that. What?
Doesn't Darn one like that very much, would they?
They'll be out to get you. Is there anything else we want to touch on by this? I think this is a really fun idea. I think it can really go pretty far. There's a lot you can benefit from having a crew sheet. The biggest one being it's easy to organize the motivations of the party as a whole instead of just the individual players. But don't let that bypass the individual player goals, though.
Andrew's like, a good enough chef might be able to give bonuses of someone can before they go off on the next quest. I'm like, there's a feat for that.
I've discovered
There
a
is.
new
I
recipe.
got it.
Which means, what if the NPCs you have working for you in your guild hall or whatever have said feats, which gives you set benefits when they do their stuff for you?
So see previous episodes where we talk about giving NPCs feats, because I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And that could be part of the leveling process of the party, right?
Yep.
What?
Makara. Some of the Shadow Wolf, a Beastmaster to tame animals like hounds or horses, as well to help protect their lairs. I'm just wondering how much more stuff we need to get closer and closer to becoming villains.
That's awesome.
So like Superior Spider-Man?
Oh my goodness, that's such an awesome arc. If you don't know, that's when Doc Ock changes bodies with
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, and
Yeah, it's weird.
he's
but it's
better.
awesome.
But he's better. He's just better. He's more brutal too.
Yeah.
All right, so oh, that's a really good point. Shadow Wolf just made another great point. Man, I'm loving this. I'm loving the active comments right now.
Weapon Master to help teach them to use weapons faster.
So this could lead into excellent options for multi-classing. Now, mechanically, we've talked, you should be able to multi-class at any point. But if you're one of those stuck-up DMs that feels like you need a RP,
First off-
I hired a guy.
And second
He's
off,
in the lair.
relax.
Oh, yeah. Relax.
There are a lot of DMs I know who really need to take that advice.
Yeah, for sure. And skills, too, right? That's the other thing. You can have an NPC you hired that might have a specific skill. Are you watching TikTok on there?
I'm watching our TikTok.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I count it.
God damn.
All right, so I think that it'll do it for our main topic today, adventuring party sheets. We do have a link in the blog to the to the actual crew sheet from Blades in the Dark. Definitely check out Blades in the Dark. It is a very cool game. I am loving what I've read. So
I need to sit down and read the actual book.
some good shit.
I have the book. I just need to read it.
So one of those things you buy and just kind of sits in a corner.
Like my Mistborn RPG.
There's a Mistborn RPG.
Yeah, so this actually wrote material for it.
And that'll be the end of our show today.
Yep.
I had no idea.
And it actually does have crew mechanics in there too.
You're just now bringing this up. Is there anything different about that?
I
haven't played it.
I just know that you build your characters as a group first. So
yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So that'll do it for our main topic today. I want to take a moment to talk about our new Patreon rewards. If you enjoy the content that you're seeing here and you want to be part of the community, we are doing, we've just revamped some of our Patreon tier rewards with more fat loots because, you know, I had already plenty of time to write. Why not add more, right? And I want to talk about some of the new ones. Actually, one of the things that I really love are NPC cards, where you've got like an art piece of an NPC. So we decided to make tarot card size printable cards. On one side is a nice piece of artwork done by the Brandon. And he's been doing really good work. And then on the other side for the Dungeon Master is personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. And these are every week we're releasing a new one, and our patrons are really giving us great feedback. They like the versatility of them and the fact that you can just pull it up and show your players. The other thing we did is I'm a huge fan of spell components, something that nobody uses anymore, right?
Yeah.
To be fair, it did get pretty tedious in the past.
And I understand that, but from now it's mostly just role playing.
Yeah.
And so what we did is we created magical spell components.
Yep.
We call them spell reagents, little items that get consumed during the spell casting that buff it. My favorite one is one of the art pieces you did for the she pulled up the Scorch Rose, so I guess I'm talking about that. So here's the Scorch Rose on the screen right now, and it says, this red and orange flower looks much like a rose with a flame tongue at its center. It can usually be found around lava pits or near an area where lava has flown recently. It is an uncommon reagent, so when you cast a spell of first level or higher, it deals fire damage. You can add a Scorch Rose to the material components, and if you do, the target takes fire damage from the spell, must succeed a con save, or begin burning for an additional 2d4 damage at the start of each of its turns. And of course, it had kind of used an action to put it out. And it's a nice consumable little item that you can give to your players, and they can just give a little oomph, like a consumable potion for spells only. So you can see we got the Orc Smuggler on there, which is pretty fun. So if you want to support Crit Academy, please consider heading on over to patreon.com/Crit Academy and checking out some of our content. We are always putting out so much content that I don't have time to have a real life.
That's why he's giving it to us now.
Oh, yeah.
All right. How about we move on to our unearthed tips and tricks?
And now, what you've all been waiting for. Our Unearthed Tips and Tricks segment, where we bring you new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
All right. Ian, why don't you hit us up first?
Well, to start off with, and this comes from one of our Crit Nation members, Zach Albright. Meatmaker. Here's a male Goliath. Meatmaker is close to 8 feet tall with a very muscular build. He wears only loose-fitting elk furs and elk skin trousers. He carries no weapons, but when enraged, grows fangs, claws, and a spiked tail. Oh, I wonder which barbarian archetype they picked.
For his personality, despite his appearance, Meatmaker is actually very sweet and routinely displays dog-like characteristics such as walking around with his tongue hanging out, circling his bed 3 times before lying down, and has heightened sense of smell and does a doggy happy dance whenever he sees a turtle. Meatmaker can't read or write, but is an absolute genius when it comes to cooking meat. He can turn almost any meat into the tastiest treat that you've ever had. Meatmaker is unfortunately developed the trait that every time that he lies, and he is compelled to mention turtles.
And sometimes I get the feeling you may not want to know what he did to make it tasty.
I can't fucking believe you.
What?
He's making me read this part.
Oh,
This is due to trauma that he experienced as a child when his mother, who also taught him all of his cooking skills, cooked Meatmaker's pet turtle, fed it to him, and then lied about it. Meatmaker was traumatized by the experience and now mentions turtles every time that he lies. This has led to much confusion whenever he is actually talking about turtles and not lying.
oh, jeez.
You're
Yeah.
an asshole.
Sorry. His history: Meatmaker grew up in a Goliath tribe and lived in the mountains. During this really sounds a lot like Brick. I swear to God. During particular long winter, when Meatmaker was in his youth, the tribe experienced a shortage of food. This is when his mother resorted to cooking Meatmaker's pet turtle and fed it to him. When Meatmaker reached adulthood, he left his tribe and bounced around various mercenary companies, mainly serving as a cook. During his travels, he forgot where his tribe was from and hasn't been able to find them again.
And as motivation, he wants to find his family again, and he also wants to find all manner of exotic meats and spices to perfect his craft. He also hopes to open his own turtle pet shop one day.
So okay, I am so everyone knows I am part of a show called Initiative and Intrigue,
Yeah.
and I play a Goliath chef who, during our adventure, we were carrying a turtle, and he constantly wanted to cook it. So I'm starting to draw some very strong parallels to Brick and this meat maker. I'm just saying.
That motivation though makes me think of that one anime where a magical kingdom need a hero accidentally isekai'd a pro wrestler. and,
Double drop.
And his entire motivation was, you want me to see the kingdom? Screw that, I'll open my own pet shop. Look at all the exotic monsters there are for you to sell.
Overall, what do you guys think about this character concept?
It's fun.
I think it's fucked up.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty. The whole
Would you
feeding
like
of
some
his
meat
own
pie?
pet. Oh, what if he served it in the turtle shell as like a stew?
As a bowl.
Yeah. Also, a Brick thing who's got a giant turtle shell on his back that he uses as a cooking wok. All right, that'll do it for our character concept, Meat Maker. Now, I'm going to take this moment to let everyone know this will be the last character concept on the show.
Yeah.
I want to extend our focus on the main topic without extending the length of the show. And that meant, because of the votes that you also lovingly cast, that was the one that got dropped.
We fucking hate your character.
No, I just got the lowest votes, that's all.
Did you hear that, guys? If you actually like this concept to vote, it's your fault.
Yeah.
It's actually not so bad though, because it gives us more time on the main topic.
Which
Yeah.
some,
If
we
you
had talked
guys-
about a couple times.
Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed that near the end of the main topic, we start like pinching it out and squeezing it out. I was like, we gotta go.
I'm pinching it.
Yeah, pinch it off and pull them up.
Oh, goodness.
Uh,
No need to wipe.
Here's a bit of wisdom for you. It takes 3 times the wipe to know you only need 2.
All right, let's move on to our monster, the Witch Doctor. Ian, do you want to talk about it?
Yep. I'm glad there's not the only one who thought about that. The origin of the Witch Doctor is the Hezro. And, well, obviously, like in the other monster variants we have, we lose and alter some features. Resistances are then changed to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical, non-adamantine items. They have immunity to poison and poison condition, and they lose their stench, language, telepathy, and bite and claw attacks.
What do we get, Brandon?
The new feature says Plague Aura, 3 a day. As a bonus action, the Witch Doctor can pour a vial of concoction over its body. Rubs it all in. For 1 minute. When another creature that starts this turn within 10 feet of the Witch Doctor must succeed on a DC 15 con save, or be infected with the Sewer Plague. That's in the DMG.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
If the creature failed to save by 5 or more, they also gain a level of exhaustion. Holy shit.
Don't miss.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
On a successful saving throw, the creature is immune to the Witch Doctor's aura for 24 hours. What is Sewer Plague?
It'd be nasty.
Well, pull that up and we'll talk about that after we get through this here.
Okey-dokey.
So the poison dagger is you get also the poison dagger, which is a melee ranged weapon that does 1 piercing damage or 5 piercing damage, and the target must succeed a DC 15 con save or be poisoned for 1 minute. The poisoned creature is paralyzed. That's brutal. Keep in mind this is CR8 monster. So, and the creature can repeat its saving throw at the end of each turn, ending the effect on a success.
Okay.
Poison dagger's a taser.
Okay. I'm gonna skip to what it does. It
Sewer
takes-
plague.
Yep. It takes 1d4 days for sewer plague symptoms to manifest in an infected creature. Symptoms include fatigue and cramps. The infected suffers 1 level of exhaustion, and it regains only half the number of hit points from spending hit dice and no hit dice at all from finishing a short rest. At the end of each long rest, an infected creature must make another DC 11 con saving throw. If they fail, they gain 1 more level of exhaustion. On a successful save, the exhaustion level decreases by 1 level. And if a successful saving throw reduces the infected creature's level of exhaustion below 1, then they recover from the disease.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Many things, but we've known this.
Yes. We're gonna touch more on that in a second.
Oh my God.
It's gonna get 3 legendary actions.
You
It's
didn't
gonna
talk
get
about the blowgun.
what? Oh, I missed the blowgun.
You missed a blowgun.
Do you want to tell me about the blowgun? It's also a ranged attack.
It's a poison blowgun, range attack. It's a +6 to hit. Range is good up to 30, disadvantage up to 120. I just learned that last week. What? One creature does 5 damage or 1d4 plus 3 piercing damage, and the target must make a DC 15 con save, taking 24 or 76 poison damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
All right, that's
That's
pretty
a
brutal.
lot for a blowgun.
It's going to get 3 legendary actions. It can make an attack with one of its blowguns, or dagger.
3 darts is too much.
It's going to get detect, where it can make a wisdom perception check. And we're going to give it Plague Swarm, which costs 2 actions. The Witch Doctor points to a space it can see within 30 feet and conjures a swarm of insects. The insects are friendly to the Witch Doctor and its companions. Roll initiative for the summoned creature as a group, which have their own turn. They obey any verbal commands the Witch Doctor issues. No action required by the Witch Doctor. If the Witch Doctor doesn't issue any commands, they basically just defend themselves.
Does the Plague Swarm also initiate the whole exhaustion thing?
What? No.
Because you're a monster like that.
So Alicia's showing the wonderful art piece for our Witch Doctor. If you don't know, all of our monsters get fully fleshed out backstories.
Looks like Voldemort went to the gym.
Backstories, beautiful stat block, beautiful artwork layout, and player character lore checks you can feed them, all that jazz. So let's talk about this little bastard here. Yes, he's a terror. So I just want to point out, my editor asked, what good is an effect that takes place 1d4 days later? Well, what happens when that 1d4 days later is in the middle of a dungeon? Or worse.
People start assuming that, they're sick because of something that's here.
In the area. Yes. That's it. One of the most confusing things to a character and the player is when they're stricken by something but don't know where it came from. That is terrifying when I just say you gain a level of exhaustion.
What the fuck happened?
How terrifying do you think that would that be as a player?
You're also bleeding from your anus.
Your eyes, your anus, pretty much any hole.
Ugh.
And it burns, and you got cramps. So that was the
So
reason for
Taco
that.
Bell got it.
Yes. So that was the reason for that. It's definitely later. There is a chance of hitting them up with exhaustion right away. Rick says, reminds me of the awesome write-up for blowguns in your weapons book. I forget its name. Yeah, me too. But yes, if you haven't picked up Weapon Perks, you certainly should, because it's single-handedly one of our best sellers. Everybody loves it because weapons need more variation. Dulcinea says, one of my players got hit with the eye rod and thought they got through it, but then it kicked in 1d4 hours later, and they've been paranoid ever since. Yes! Dulcinea, I love you.
I hate that rod. I thought it was so funny.
My eyes are bleeding!
I couldn't make the last game, but the game before then, the Patreon game that we were doing,
Uh-huh.
you kept trying. I had me roll a con saves. I kept saving. I was like, "Fuck! I really want you to get eye rod." Like, I don't think
I
you're supposed
say
to.
that?
Yeah, I was like, I don't think you're supposed to say that.
Anyway, so let's talk more about this actual monster here. So the poison dagger for the paralysis is just perfect. Witch doctors aren't they don't have a lot of hit points. They're not meaty like they should be. So they weaken their targets before they kick their asses. Obviously the blowgun is the highest source of damage that it does. Another question I got asked. Ooh, ooh, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Anyways,
but in a threatening fashion.
the other question I got asked is the other question, and I love my
Echoes of
proofreaders. Thank you
vengeance.
so much, Peanut. You're awesome. He goes, why does a monster, or he says, have you ever seen a monster with a legendary action just to look around? And my answer is, when you play with a lot of rogues, that is a necessity.
Yeah.
If that's all he's doing is looking for rogues that are hiding and darting around, it's worth it. I promise. Reduce that, and of course the summoning the plagues and stuff. That's totally a Diablo thing, right? They conjured insects and toads and shit, right?
Now thinking about that
Yep.
one time in 3.5. So, question: when I wild shape into a 8-headed Hydra, do I get 8 perception checks? No.
You already get advantage, asshole. All right. Anyways, that'll do it for. Do you guys like this monster?
Yes.
Yeah,
Are you sure? Because that wasn't very enthusiastic.
it's super dangerous, but yeah, I still like it.
Yeah, well, I'm a bastard. Oh, look at that. So, thank you, our wonderful Alicia, she had snipped the blowgun. And it comes with the sleep dart, which you can take an action to make a ranged weapon attack, and on a hit roll a D8, 48. If the creature's hit points is less than that, they just fall asleep. And then you have poison dart that forces them save or be poisoned. And our weapon perks basically are anybody proficient in the weapon can gain those perks. That gives the players a little more incentive to do what?
I wonder what.
Try out the other weapons to start, right? See what they do and change them for the situation. So if you haven't picked up weapon perks, you really need to. Everyone just loves it. And I'm not just saying that because we made it. Sorry, am I boring you?
No,
It's currently platinum bestseller. I forgot about that. All right.
Holy
So
shit.
how about we move on to our encounter of the podcast? Brandon, if you're awake, can you tell us about it?
the encounter. Oh my god, the encounter of the podcast is
I'm going to stab you.
an alchemist sticky situation. Sonal Black Anvil, a female dwarf mage, keeps a stockpile of assorted concoctions, potions, and other strange herbs and mixtures inside of her vault. The door to her vault is solid iron with intricate molds displaying a bold anvil used as a table with alchemic mixtures placed on
Ooh.
top. The door is sealed with the arcane lock spell.
To protect Vault's contents, she set up a large clay jar filled with black, sticky, flammable liquid. A special concoction of her own through experimentation.
Fucking napalm?
Yes. The concoction's core ingredients are sovereign glue, alchemist fire, and flint and tinder. She named the mixture Ember Oil. The door is rigged in a way that anybody opens the door triggers her trap.
Oh, yes. What is Ember Oil? I'm so glad you asked. It is a mechanical trap. When a creature opens the door, it triggers a tripwire that spills the combustible liquid from a jar. Wow, that is just so generic, Justin. It's basically the old bucket over the
Yeah,
door.
it opens up. She's sitting in the corner. Gotcha, bitch!
Toss of the match.
A successful DC 15 wisdom save is necessary to spot the wires tied to the door. When the trap is triggered, the jar spills out to a 5-foot by 15-foot line. It just spews out. A creature in the area must then succeed a DC 15 dex save or take 1d4 damage. Well, that's not very much.
At the end
Unless
of
it
each
keeps
of its
going.
turns.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. But wait, there's more.
Additionally, the sticky nature of the ember oil makes movement difficult. The creature's speed is halved. It takes a -2 penalty to AC and dexterity saving throws. It can't use reactions. On its turn, it can use either an action or bonus action, not both. Regardless of the creature's abilities or magic items, it can't make more than one melee or ranged attack during its turn.
But wait, there's more, because Justin's a dickhead.
If the creature attempts to cast a spell that requires smack components with a cast time of 1 action, roll a d20. On an 11 or higher, the spell does not take effect until the creature's next turn, and the creature must use its action on that turn to complete the spell. If it can't, the spell is wasted.
What the fuck?
I'm actually surprised he didn't make it where if they try to cast a fire spell, it lights the oil on them on fire.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I did not think about that because that's cool.
Let's go
On a,
Red Works.
on a successful DC 18 intelligence investigation check, allows the character to deduce the trap's trip line and use the thieves' tools check to disarm it requires a DC 20 to disarm it. Disconnecting the wire from the door. Unsuccessful attempt at disarming triggers the track. Kaboom! Now, here's where it gets really bad, Ian.
Yep. This effect can only be removed by using universal solvent, oil of etherealness, lesser restoration, or similar effects.
You can't put out the fire.
Yeah, because isn't alchemist fire a real thing?
It is.
Like it's a flame that cannot be put out with water.
Well, that's Greek fire, actually, but yeah.
Greek fire.
Greek fire,
but-
that's what I'm thinking of.
Well, anyways, the glue that is used stops it from getting removed very easily.
Or phosphorus.
So
Phosphorus,
it may not be very much damage at 1d4, but you need special materials or spells to get rid of it. So congratulations, you're a walking torch.
So 1d4 every 6 seconds out of combat.
Yeah.
Ow!
Just
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Yes, Andrew, you nailed it. It's a slow plus fire in a bucket. I like it. That's exactly what it is. All right. This is a really fun encounter, and we don't run into enough traps triggered by like set up like something like this, I think, in games, and we need more of them. I know I need to add more of them, so I wrote this one. So
Now,
you're gonna be happy Merle's dead.
Okay.
what if you get
His character died recently. It was a sad day.
It was a sad day.
He's also the one that has all the knowledge to get their asses back, their city back to Toro. Grand Rums.
Although, technically, Jorm could have by retcon that.
Yeah, probably.
stop, drop, and reroll?
So he used to make that a song. Stop, drop, roll that shit because
Uh,
it's fucking hot.
Rick Stevens, thank you. That
That's
hurts. Ow.
hilarious. Oh my goodness.
What if you get the players who are like, oh, let's try to bring science into this, and say, hold your breath, and they put them in a bag of holding where there's no oxygen.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, you need action
You
for fire
can't-
to burn,
you can't.
so.
Nothing
No,
burns without
you
oxygen.
need that in our world, but you also can't make a wish and make things happen in our world. So fuck their science.
Ooh,
It's a
that,
vacuum chamber, right? Wouldn't it still work?
It's magic fire. Fuck off.
It's magic.
but
Don't you bring your science into my D&D
If
game.
it's magic fire, then would Dispel Magic release the fire? Bitch.
God damn it. You shut your mouth. No, this is where, as a DM, if a player comes up with something like that, fucking roll with it because that's cool.
Exothermic reaction requiring oxygen.
All right, let's move on to that'll do it for our encounter of the podcast. The alchemist sticky situation. And if you like this sort of stuff, you can head on over to our website and find this stuff, the details in our blog. Or if you really want to support us, pick up some of our magazines and stuff that have this
You
stuff.
just
in
go to
and speaking
createacademy.com.
of
We got a
our
lot of
own
free shit.
products, today's magic item is made by Whitaker's Well of Wondrous Items.
it. Ooh.
The Battlecaster's Brooch of the Unknown. It is a wondrous, very rare item which requires attunement, and the creature attuned to this magic item gains the following benefits. While wearing this equipment, when hostile creature's movement provokes an opportunity attack from you, you can use your reaction to cast a spell at the creature rather than making an opportunity attack. This spell must have a casting time of an action and must only target that creature. Now keep in mind, additionally, you have advantage on con saving throws that you make to maintain your concentration on the spell when you take damage. And, actually, I guess that's your...
You are hidden from divination magic. You can't be targeted by such magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors.
While wearing this equipment, wait, did you already read that part?
He
Yes.
sure did.
You bastard. What do you guys think?
I kept on going, didn't realize.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I just like to take a moment that our boy Rick Stevens says that needs to be on a shirt. It's magic fire. Fuck off. And Dulcinea said she'd buy it.
Now, I do have to ask, when it says a casting of action must only target that creature, that means only a single target spell, correct?
That's how I would interpret that. Yes.
Okay, because I could easily see some people interpreting it as, so if I cast Fireball, but only hits them.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I'm just
I
saying.
can see that.
Firebolt or magic missile and
Yeah.
such.
This is pretty straightforward. It's not super complex, but little magic items like this sometimes just need a little attention. And I mean, basically, it's a part of a feat at this point. I think isn't that
is.
one of the feats?
Yeah,
So,
Warcaster, yeah.
yeah. So there you go. I also like the divination magic can't target you. That's a huge thing for me.
And that's why
Because
it's very rare.
there's people watching my players right now with magic like that.
Yep.
No, I don't expect your character to change and take actions. I bet you there's somebody spying on me because I didn't mean to say that out loud. I mean, it's different characters.
Yeah.
Anyways, that'll do it for our magic item, the Battlecaster's Brooch of the Unknown. As Ian said, it is created from our product, the Whitaker's Well of Wondrous Items, which is a magic item generator.
And once again, I think we actually got a pretty good reception from that one.
Yeah, a lot of sales. So thank you for everyone that supports us. All right, our Dungeon Master tip: locations where adventure begins that aren't in a tavern in Dungeons and Dragons. In a fantasy setting such as Dungeons and Dragons, most quests and hooks start from popular gathering locations, which makes sense. These are usually common areas such as inns, taverns, or town halls. While these are a tried and tested method, there are many other locations that can be found in most villages and cities that can help change up the opportunities for heroic characters.
Part of the job of the Game Master is to constantly drop in adventuring hooks for the players to latch onto. Get that, players? Tag up. While job boards and skulking cloaked figures in the corners of taverns are nice, and let's be real here, a lot of people actually do like them, despite some people being vocal about hating them. Sometimes you want to change it up to freshen up the game a bit. In our blog, we've talked the other 5 locations where adventurings can begin that aren't taverns.
Yeah.
Gates. The entryway to a city is often guarded to some extent. Depending on the risks to the community, it may or may not be a lot. But in general, even small villages have some sort of militia patrolling the area or protecting an entire
Entry.
or protecting an entry point or two. I'm blind. City gates are similar ports of jeez. City gates are similar ports of entry often have herds of people standing in long lines to enter. This is particularly true if the location is a prime spot for merchants to pass through.
I can definitely picture like some two adventurers staying in line. Hey, you got a great sword. Yep. I have a great axe. How many limbs have you chopped up in one swing before? What? 3.
When do we get to the ride?
I was going to say,
the ride.
At what point does it become an excellent axe? All right, so this makes the point of entry into a village in city a great place to hear rumors from those waiting to enter. The chatter can easily reveal recent monster attacks, disappearing citizens, notable events between noble houses, and even special events that are ongoing. If you want to help bring your world to life, you can instead describe events or other oddities that may stand out to the characters waiting at the entry point. A great example of this, maybe several of the folks in line have red eyes with clearly burning vision. Asking around, offering or a simple knowledge check could reveal that the characters to the characters that a plague or monster effect is the result, either in their area that they're running from or about to be spread by this person with the burning eyes. That would be eye rot.
Yeah.
It is worth noting that this is only one of many from an entire blog that we wrote. I think there was 5, so there's 4 more of these on our blogs at our website at critacademy.com/blog. Check it out. You can read about all the other ones. What do you guys think about this DM tip?
I think it is particularly fantastic because too many adventures start in taverns.
You mean not enough?
Too many adventures start. Hell, fucking Dragon Heist starts in a freaking tavern.
So does almost everything in the book of the Yawning Portal, because the
Yawning Portal's a
is
tavern.
The tavern.
I want that book.
With a dungeon underneath it. Yeah. All right, that'll do it for our Dungeon Master tip. I scrolled away and thought I'd remember it, but I didn't.
You failed.
Locations where adventure begins that aren't in a tavern in Dungeons & Dragons. Check out our blog. Get other ones. Keep those on the side of your paperwork or on the side of your DM screen. You're welcome. Our player tip of the podcast is don't be a dick. And you can avoid dickitude
by not making witch doctors.
By role-playing an artificer. Artificers are as much artists as they are technicians. They see through gifted eyes, perceiving loose magic energies flowing around them. And with practice skill, they pluck those loose bits of meta magic to form it into useful objects and enhancements, layering eldritch power into their allies' weapons, armor, and other gear to augment their natural talents. By using the same techniques, artificers can cobble together useful devices by imbuing them with arcane magic into the bits and pieces they carry with them, sometimes to create simple devices to destroy their enemies, and other times to create traps and obstacles for their foes. They could also craft useful and obedient servants. Are you all
I'm
right?
gonna point something out to you that's fucking hilarious. You're sitting there, it's like the spells of one artificer. You're doing all this hand motions. You're describing all this stuff, and I realized that the people watching can't even see it because we got a guard up.
It's because I'm animated when I talk, okay?
Super.
like
The
Yeah,
Tic Tac
yeah.
people can see it.
Which is why your mic got knocked
Yeah,
over.
more than once.
Yeah.
Yep.
Spike check still good?
I would assume.
Do they hear you? I hope.
Check. Yeah, we're good.
The spells one artificer learns might be similar to. Oh, damn it! might
hate
be
you.
similar to those mastered by another. But the differences in technique vary based on culture and heritage. How an artificer learned his or her craft often influences the essential characteristics common to artificers.
Now, I think that's actually a good point you mentioned. That I think there's a lot of misconceptions about the artificer. Like, I've seen too many people saying, I don't allow artificers in my game because I don't allow high technology. I'm like, well, did you read the artificer's description? Because one example they literally gave is empowering an item by taking a quill and drawing a symbol on it. Does that sound like technology to you? And for that matter, they...
He's really passionate.
and
I've never played an artificer, so I don't know.
He's
and
just died.
for that matter, they...
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
They're basically just like spellcasters. They just are item focused in how they do it. So
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
As a
I
result, you can
He had a
showcase
chance to fly away.
how cultural knowledge
he
and
didn't.
tradition might modify how an artificer approaches the magical techniques he or she masters. Since these feats are all designed for the heroic tier, any artificer that meets the prerequisites can take these feats.
Look at your
Robert J.
list.
Schwalb, Dragon Magazine, 387.
Yes. Ignore the parts about the feats. This is from Robert J. Schwab's article in Dragon Magazine for 4th edition, and there goes half our audience. Andrew says, in a game streamed by Old Dominion heroes, one of the players is a Warforged artificer whose leg contains a bag of holding, so he has a leg of holding. That is awesome. So this is just something to remember when you're playing something like an artificer. Don't be afraid to bend the flavor of things to fit a particular theme.
Yeah.
To me, if I'm to play, let's say I'm going to play a dwarven artificer, I'm going to flavor everything to be dwarven. Like one of my turrets might be a freaking walking anvil that just would blast things out of it, you know?
I'm picturing a miniature like a beer barrel with like a fire legs with a turret on top.
Oh, that's awesome. But see, that's what I'm talking about. This is 100% just flavor. So when you're playing your artificer, think about where they came from and what their influences can how they can affect the things that they can create and the way that they create things. Do you have anything to add, Brandon? It looks like he's texting.
I was looking at TikTok stuff. No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. He
I
was
pay
looking at
attention for
TikTok.
90% of the fucking show.
I would give you like 80.
I did good.
You did good. I'll get you a cookie when we're done, I promise.
I've got, oh, that's right. You said you got cookies inside.
No, I didn't say that at all.
I thought I heard Alicia say that.
You have cookies?
I know. I remember we have to go in there to grab something, and she was. I think she said
Yeah,
something
to
about
bring new
cookies.
chairs for our new redesign.
Our fat asses. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, all right. So,
I want cookies, but I have no cookies. What the fuck?
I want cookies, but have no cookies. Why don't you toss some of that stuff in the thing right now? Anyways,
If you enjoy this show and want to support us, visit us at criticacademy.com. Follow us on social media, and please leave us a review.
nice sword play.
I mean, good feedback does help make the show better.
Yes. Now,
God damn
as
it.
always, if you want to support us, also
See.
consider becoming a patron. We
Yeah.
give away a lot of content to our patrons. So check it out. But we would be remiss if we did not do what?
A giveaway for some fat loots.
Hell yes. We are going to make it rain on you guys.
Okay. This week's RPG Fat Loot giveaway. Grunak's Guide to Elements.
Elementals.
Elementals. I told you I'm blind.
I
Elementals.
literally made it huge for you.
While he was reading.
Did you not notice I
Oh, I was
increased the
reading-
size
No,
significantly?
I'm
Oh
also
my goodness.
I'm also dyslexic.
What?
Damn it, I'm good.
It's okay. I still love you.
A selection
With
of
mouth.
a selection of exciting new creatures to add depth and variety to the elementals. Each new elemental type has also been split between lesser or CR3 and greater or CR7 for even greater possibilities to throw at your players. That means 10 new elementals, or oh my god, that means 10 new elements and 20 new creatures. Fuck this.
I think I'm gonna change that to your cue. How's that? All right, who's our winner today, Brandon?
Our winner is Surging Water.
Woo!
Yay!
We're idiots.
I got the last clap.
If you didn't win, no problem. Head on over to critacademy.com. Subscribe for your chance to win. All you have to do is sign up for our newsletter, and you get free loot just signing up.
Motherfucker.
That's selling loot. All right. I think that'll do it for our show today. I just want to say thank you to everyone that's joined us. If you're here on TikTok, if you're here on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook, whatever it is, thank you so much for watching us, our stupid asses. We appreciate it because I feel like you probably have more important things to do, sit around and watch our stupid shit. So thank you for your time.
I'm sure that's a completely different website.
We have a talk
Stupid
show.
shit. We do have a talk show. So we talk a lot. So keep an eye out. We got some plans coming in to redo all this stuff. So I'm really excited.
That's a first.
What? People like our show?
Congratulations, you've received 100 messages
No.
today.
That's not a first, but thanks
I
for
thought it
playing.
was.
No, it's not. All right. That'll do it for our show today. Keep your blade
Sharp.
Oh, wait.
I'm sad.
I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Ian.
And I'm your co-host, Brandon. Thanks for listening.
Ready?
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.
Peace.